N- Namaskaram. Today is a special day in Guruvayur. They celebrate the event which we can see in Bhagavatam, the scene where Kuchela and Lord Krishna, their interaction, and how Kuchela became rich after meeting Krishna. That Kuchela Upakyanam, that particular chapter I'm going to narrate in this recording. Actually, everybody who is having a little idea about Bhagavatam definitely knows the story of Kuchela. In North, Kuchela is called as Sudama. So either we can say Krishna and Sudama or Krishna and Kuchela. Both are one and the same only. The story is very simple, and in 2 lines I'll complete the story. But the concepts which are explained in this story and in this Purana are worthwhile listening to. That's the reason why I'm putting this recording. Actually, Kuchela was very poor, and his wife name was Kalyani. Though they were very poor, they never blamed God or fate. They lived a contented life. One day, with great hesitation, Kalyani asked Kuchela whether it would be possible for Kuchela to go and request Lord Krishna, who was the king of Dwarka. She tells him, "Your friend is in a very big position. He is a king now. Why don't you go and meet him, and some help we can get out of this poverty." And this was a very sensible decision which she took, and she discussed this with Kuchela. Kuchela was very much happy to go and meet Krishna, but it was very difficult for him because various factors were working in his mind. He was very poor, whether he'll be entertained in the kingdom. That was the first hesitation he had, and how it will be, how others will take his presence there. So, these were the thought processes which were going on in his mind, but still he wanted to go and then meet him and remember the old days they spent in Sandipani Gurukulam. With great difficulty, they packed some item out of rice, which was a favorite item for Lord Krishna. He reaches the kingdom, and as expected, he didn't face any problem. His thought process was different, but he had no difficulty in meeting Lord. And Lord, as soon as he saw Kuchela, he gave a very comfortable seat and he washed his feet, and with that water he put that water on his head also, and there were tears, and he showed so much of love, and he was helped by his wife Rukmini also. So the hospitality was very good, and they remembered the days when they spent in Gurukulam. And after spending a few hours, after spending their time in talking, it was time for Kuchela to come back to his place. Lord Krishna asked Kuchela, "You would not have come empty handed. What has, uh, what has been brought by you?" Then Kuchela takes out, and he was feeling very bad to give that because it was such a small gift. Seeing the hesitation on his face, Lord tells him, "It's not the thing what you have brought matters. It is with what intention you have brought that matters to me. My bhaktas can offer water also. They can offer me a leaf also. It is not the object which is important for me. It is with what intention they offer to me. That is what I see in a bhakta," he says. And then during the time when they were in Sandipani Gurukulam, one day they both, Lord Krishna and Kuchela, they went out to pick up some ingredients for the ritual. And that day it rained heavily and they could not return to the Gurukulam. Next day morning, their Guru comes and then comes in search of them, and he tells, "Whole night you people were under rain, And for my work, you have come here, and I appreciate your devotion to the Guru, and all my blessings to you, he says. So the entire episode, what attracted me was that the Guru Bhakti and the devotion to Lord, and the love which was there between a king and an ordinary person like Kuchela. Whether these things are possible in the current world, is that what it this is what I used to think whenever I read this incident, when I read Bhagavata Puranam. So it is not the story which is very important, it is the lessons what we get from the story are very, very important. Actually, Kuchala never asked Lord Krishna for what purpose he had come. He returns home with a heavy heart. His body was going, but his mind was with still Krishna only. He comes back to his place, and then when he saw, when as he was coming nearby his house, he couldn't believe his eyes. It was a huge mansion, and then everywhere there was indication of great wealth. Obviously, Lord Krishna had made it happen. And then he went as a beggar. When he came back, he became a very big, rich man. When he was a beggar, also, he was having contentment. He never complained. And when he became very rich, also, he never had that ego that he had become very rich. On both the occasions, his mental health, I should say, his mentality was the same. So these were the points which I wanted to focus when I started doing the recording. So the story is very simple, that Kuchela went met Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna made Kuchela very rich. In 2 lines I can repeat the story, but what are the points which are worthwhile pondering over? Whether a rich person really will treat his classmate knowing fully well that the classmate is very poor. This was the first question I had. Second question, in poverty, we complain a lot. When we become rich, we are very proud of our riches. In Kuchela's story, in poverty also, they were contented. When they became rich also, they were never proud of their riches. This was the second point. And third point is the love. What was going on between a teacher and the student in the Gurukulam, and a devotee to the Lord. They were bonded by love. So these are the three aspects which always made me think when I was reading Bhagavatam. And today, being the auspicious day, one can spend little time reading it, and then one can become rich. That's what people say. Thank you for your time. I'll meet you all in my next recording.